Thank you, Scott.
I'm here too, by the way.
Oh, hey, bud. How are you, Dan? Hello, everybody. This is our Wednesday Q&A webinar. You're here with myself, Brad Williams, one of the managing partners, as well as Dan Merkin, our CEO.
Who's always trying to manage.
We're going to take you on a little tour of trade ideas and show you what we've been working on lately. So let's just kind of get some of the bookkeeping out of the way. Our disclaimer here, we are not a registered investment advisor. Please do not tune to us for investment advice. Seek out a registered investment advisor for that. We put together some incredible idea generation technology, technology that hunts and finds opportunities in the stock market. That's what we do, and that's what we'll show you today. Take it away, Dan.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, everything from Trade Ideas stems from the gratitude that we have to you for being here, for listening to us. We are thankful that you believe in what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing, which ultimately is equaling the playing field in a way that's visible. We're tired of the buy and hold BS where, again, you can succeed by buying and holding if you're lucky, but that doesn't seem like a strategy. So we've worked very hard to give you an opportunity to capture events in a way that most people probably haven't seen, and a lot of you have seen this presentation before. So you know you're looking at Brokerage Plus. We're getting ready to release it. We've been doing many tests, spending our own money to make sure that you get a product that's as close to what we anticipate as possible. Brad, between you and I, again, we've had a small setback today because we found a bug that we want to make sure is fixed. But what are we looking at? How do you feel?
Yeah, well, I mean, thankfully, you know, banging on the software, it does provide some results, and it does allow us to root out some of the issues, and we did find one today. I was hoping we'd be able to get this out by Friday, but it's looking like Monday or Tuesday of next week. I mean, we are super close, but it's really imperative and important that we do the best that we can to ferret out any of the bugs that may exist. Certainly, it's possible that some may exist, but we're really doing a bang-up job here, rooting them out.
So there's a couple of things about what Brad's saying that's very critical to everyone. Those of you that have premium access already, you will have all the abilities. So there's nothing about that. Brad, do you want to? I got rid of the next slide because I didn't really want to belabor the point that I didn't want to belabor. Thank you. I didn't want to belabor the point that are we watching my screen or yours? You know,
no, we should be on mine. We can go to yours if you want, but
no. Yeah. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm seeing. So this is your screen I'm seeing, right?
Yeah, this is my screen. I just popped over to the Surge channel. I like to start with that just to show some stuff, but you know.
Right. No, ladies and gentlemen, trust me. I actually am glad you brought this up because there's a couple of things that I want to discuss. We talked about this last Q&A, and I really think it's very important with where we are that we talk about it again, which is have reasonable expectations. Okay, the stock market is not this thing where you enter and all of a sudden it starts paying your bills right away. It just does not work like that. No skill, no endeavor, nothing is like that. The pro golfers that you see on tour, they have to work hard to get there. The basketball guys, same thing. All the pro athletes, there's all the stuff that you don't see. Now we're all like, oh my God, man, I want to have that pro athlete money. Well, it takes stuff to get there. And I want to make sure everyone understands this, that simply by having this technology, you aren't going to be in any kind of guarantee of making money. You're going to be put in a position to make money. But extracting it will come from, obviously, good fortune, which we hope to have. The statistics that are, to me, the compass of good fortune. Brad, you like that? Statistics are the compass of good fortune. Scott, write that down, patent that. That's a good one. But truthfully, it's important for people to understand this has to be a long-term commitment for you to say to yourself, okay, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of CNBC. And this is, again, stuff that you've already heard. Okay, but I'm just reiterating the fact that you're now going to be put into a position of accelerated everything. Okay, the ideas are going to come faster. You're going to get into them faster. You're going to be able to react to things that you otherwise might not have even thought about, which is, by the way, Brad, brings me to this very good thing that you're pointing out right now, which demonstrates both the trials and tribulations of the stock market. Brad, you put up solo.
Well, I did inadvertently. I just tuned to the surge channel, and solo happened to be one of the stocks that made the most new highs today.
Right, you turned on to the surge channel because something was going on, and solo was up 220%, very, very big. But Brad, will you pop into the December AI that we had on solo? Yeah, it's right there. This was on a channel, so everyone who's a subscriber to Trade Ideas, you know that we didn't plan this. It's what's on there. You know, this is just the thing. So what you see here is you had a recommendation from Trade Ideas software that something was going on. Now, you could have gotten into it. By the way, that price, can you zoom in on it real quick?
Yeah, it was 101, I think, is what the trigger was set.
Okay, 101.
Entry $1.
Can you zoom in on that daily chart just so that I want to talk to people. Yeah, a little right there. That's fine. Right there. So in essence, you were buying solo kind of on lows, which is something good. And where did it go kind of quickly from that point on? Like, yeah, right there. What is that level?
$1.70, $1.65.
From $1 to $1.65. Percentages that are very, very big. But you would have also had to have gotten in it and for whatever reason stayed in it. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand that the toil or always getting out does not always indicate success. And what I mean by that is you can get in, and as long as this is why I hate, and Brad, how many times have I discussed this notion? The term day trading is it's a mind eraser / mind screw that has been put on to you by the industry. It's a descriptive term, of course. You're trading
the whole commentary, I think. But.
Right, you're trading during the day, right? But they put a spell on that term because, well, the day traders, they get in, they get out. Notice how the buy and holders, they just get in. Also very bad. The day traders, they get in and out, in, out, in, out, in. Now, I'm emphasizing this for an important point. Is here you were able to get in, and if you had the wherewithal, for whatever reason that is, like typically wherewithal has to do with financial ability. Like, for example, if you have an account with enough money to where you can be in a small position and hold it without really worrying, well, you could have been in this position and been in this stock, certainly. And I don't want to say you caught today's move, Brad, because that's being a little too much. You know, although I love that.
Well, too much, but let's be real. What we do, we create metadata, right? We connect to the exchanges, we give you all the standard stuff, but we create new data along the way. That new data helps you spot opportunities. Like, for instance, we know it's up 220% today, but what was cooking the whole day was this relative volume value. You can see the volume bars compared to the previous day, you know, non-existent compared to today. So, you know, our data, it's highlighting this information. So, yeah, you may not expect to get the entire move, but we're highlighting this. If you were to come to the surge channel today, this thing would have been all over it.
But also remember that this did hit the AI on the date where you see the signal, the BUI. Yep. So our AI looks for these things. What does that mean? By the way, I would really want to make sure people understand that AI is not some sort of genie in a bottle. It's not magic, okay? What we call our AI, and it is artificial. It's hard, I mean, everybody likes to use the word intelligence, but I would say it's more like advanced processing. It's your ability to process more data than you can manually, because manually you live in a real world where, you know, you can catch a basketball, which our AI can't. And hopefully you can drive a car. Our AI cannot do that. But what it can do is just it can go through a lot more data than you, and that's why we call it the AI. And there on that 0.87, it told you that something was going on with that, where it felt like for the AI, it had seen before situations where the stock behaved that way that it did, and then it went up afterwards. And what I'm saying is, even if you did not get it today, how many, Brad, count the days from when you got into like that 160 candle, the red candle.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a month and a half.
No, not today. Like go to like, see the first red candle where you're going to 160 about. On the daily, go back. No, not there. You're going, yeah, back, farther. Yeah, right there. Where is that?
Yeah, that was the 9th of January.
And when did it get in?
And we got in here on the 26th of December.
So from the 26th to the 9th, without experiencing the windfall of multi-100% returns, you would have been experiencing a not exaggerated, but bigger than average gain by simply catching on to something like this.
Yeah, and it's really part of the 1-2 punch of our software. A lot of different ways to do the same thing. And, you know, you could have capitalized on that week and a half move right here, making a great 60 some odd percent. But, you know, when it starts to pull back, you can get out. But at that point, you can always set these price alerts. And these price alerts are really threshold alerts. So you can forget about it. You know, let's say you made your money, you got out, you're in focusing on something new. Well, this morning in the pre-market, this thing would have been triggered at this level right here. So you would have been, you know, had the notion to take a look at it. You would also had the notion to take a look at the open. What kind of volume's going through it? The two come together and you've got that signal. So just another way to bring this to the top of your mind.
And that's the other thing that I want to say is that we give you all of these tools, and you need to get out of your head that the AI is just throwing money at you and you're just trying to figure out which table you're going to eat at the expensive sushi bar. But at the same time, we are going to present you with things that are so awesome. And that's where, you know, Barry pointed another one out. And there's really important things that you want to see here. Okay?
What's the ticker for that one?
Well, I'll tell you in a second. But what I'm trying to say is that, number one, Solo today was up 300%, and most likely, unless you were really tuned into the active investing space, like you're not going to hear about Solo on MSNBC or CNBC or the places that report on stocks, Forbes, etc. Because when you know this stuff, it makes you want to investigate, and when you investigate, it ultimately leads you to trade ideas, and we are their enemy. Make no mistake about it. Okay, so look at what you see here. The stock market can give you 300% moves in a day. That's the lesson for you to know. We are hunting for that. There's no question we are. However, let's not pretend that it's easy. That's the other thing. So then, Brad, let's put up PTX. That's the one that Barry Anderson, who runs our trading room, he's our trading room operator.
What's the symbol?
PTX. What you're seeing here is a similar situation, similar coin. Here you have a signal that you got into, it got you in. Once you were in, you have now some logic and some things that you can do. You can put the alerts in. You can let yourself know, like, hey, this is going on. And by the way, if you want to know what we're working on, like, because ladies and gentlemen, it's not enough for us to give you the best idea generation and the best way to get it. We are trying to make you, the little people, be so much better at this than the pros. And one of the ways that we're working on that is by being able to maybe in the future figure out a good highlighting automation, Brad. That's something that, you know, you and I kind of discuss at off-topic times. But, you know, here's your signal. Alert me when I've hit a price that's higher than the high of the signal day, right? It's almost that simple. It's yet another alert. That's what we do. And the interesting thing is that obviously it's important because, well, this was something that the AI had gotten you into. So This PTX, just like the Solo, those are the buffalo. We're the Indians, that's the buffalo. Brad, any questions? Indians, buffalo, Indians, buffalo. AI is spear. That's the branding of the spear that actually is a Gatling gun. You know, like one of my favorite things, you know, Brad, I never knew about Gatling guns until Predator. You remember Predator?
I do remember Predator. The Gatling gun is kind of slipping my mind at the moment.
Well, the Gatling gun was the gun that Jesse Ventura had. See, Scott's like, I can't believe Brad doesn't know this stuff. So Jesse Ventura, the big guy, he had the Gatling gun, and I was like, I didn't know they made a gun that mowed the lawn. It's kind of like a rotary shooter. It is so massive and powerful that it looks like somebody made a gun to be a lawnmower. You know, that was the effect of the movie. And it leaves that kind of an impression on you. That like, wow, whoever did this, they were going for something big. And that's kind of what we want you to see with what we're doing here with Trade Ideas. We're so close to releasing this AI so that you are going to be participating in it. But right now, you're not limited to not. Brad, do me a favor. Go to our AI channel and let's walk people through a little bit of an exercise.
You bet. So let me kind of lead into that so you guys know what we're kind of transitioning to. We've been in business for over 16 years, and we've created all this idea generation technology, and we've built on top of each layer of tech that we've created. Several years back, we created AI technology that effectively uses our backtesting technology and optimizes strategies, and it does this every single day. So let me pop on over to Holly Grail, which was our original AI channel. This is essentially a bank of strategies that get optimized every single day using this AI tech, so that in the very next day it's presenting real-time signals for you. And so this is just an example of what happened today in this channel.
So let's do a little bit of an exercise, Brad. I want to show people like how pros approach it. Like pull up Netgear, for example. Okay, and zoom in on the daily too. Like let's make the daily a little bigger so people can see where we're at. Okay, that's right. So something was going on in Netgear, and it doesn't take a gigantic brain to see what the AI is saying. It's like, oh man, this thing was oversold. Look at that gigantic gap down that it had in January, right? Like 1-2, probably earnings, I'm guessing, just high level. It gapped down, traded up to from wherever that was, 32 to 40, and then came down again hard. But the AI saw something in there calculatively that said, hey, something interesting going on. And today, that was the biggest winner for the software, which means that how would you have participated in it? Well, 5 minutes after the open, you would have seen this come in, NTGR, right, Brad?
Yeah,
NTGR. And you can see the signal was kind of on highs. So that means that each one of those candles that, wait, get back real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom back.
One of the candles that Brad's showing you, so we got in right there on that red candle when it looked like, well, it ended up being red.
Yeah, it wasn't red at the time. It was running up.
It was running up. But it actually came down. And you can see, you know, went down through a moving average, the 50-day SMA, but then started to go higher and higher and higher, as if like a buy program had come in there. Now look, there's lots of things that you can do in hindsight that you can never do during the time that it's happening, and I would never profess so. But what I'm telling you is that the lesson to be learned here is patience and then notification. So what happens, Brad, if I take the buy signal that we had, right, and I put an alert on it, like alert me to this price after the trigger?
Yeah, and it's what, you know, there are a couple of things. It's something that I highly recommend. People kind of use this tandem 1-2 punch with our price alerts and the AI signals, but it also reminds me one of the things that we're implementing here with this new release of Brokerage Plus. You're also going to get this information inside of the AI, but that's our reentry algorithm. And whether you're putting your signal back at the AI, original AI signal, or you're finding some, midpoint between the stop price and the original signal, you're going to have the ability to be informed of that movement back up so that you can re-participate. A couple different ways. You could avoid the stop, not have your stop in place and just ride with it through the day, or you can have your stop in place, protect your downside, and when it starts to move back up through those thresholds, then you can re-participate. And that's kind of what we recommend doing and how we present this annotation onto the chart.
Yeah. So there's lots of different ways, but also, Brad, like if you go to Netgear and you right-click on it, like on, no, well, you can do it, yeah, I guess that's fine, you can do it from the chart, I forget. So imagine, guys, you're on the chart, the AI does something, right? You see that buy signal, and you can right-click and you can go right there without the software doing it for you. Just trade Netgear. You already have this ability in, for those that have bought the premium version, you already have this ability to trade from your charts, from your price alerts, from anywhere without the AI being automated. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say, is that although we're doing all this stuff to get your Tesla, to drive perfectly by itself, you already have the stick shift, you've got the throttle, you've got, the clutch, the gas, all those things are there. So we're
Dan, it's like a real full suite platform. So we give you the ability to see these signals in real time. You can pull them up on a chart. You can participate in the trade by right-clicking and sending that order. We integrate with IB, by the way, so that could be sent very quickly. But we also have Brokerage Plus, and Brokerage Plus will allow these particular signals to be automated. So if you want to go ahead and engage all your long trades or a particular strategy, you just turn it on, and anytime a signal comes through, it'll adhere to the instructions that you've placed. Is it going to be a long trade? Are you going to enter in with a limit or a market? What kind of size are you going to use? Are you going to use a standard share quantity, like 100 shares? Are you going to use a dollar value? Or even something that's a little more sophisticated, where we take a look at what the potential stop is, and you can have a risk amount. So let's say you want to risk $50 on the trade. It'll look to where that stop value is, and it'll share size you accordingly, so that if you were in fact to be stopped out, you're only going to lose that $50.
Brad, let's re-emphasize this thing that you and I have talked about for many, many Q&As, but not recently, which is called bracketing. And I like the CBM version of it because I want people to think about what we're doing. Remember what we showed you, and this is a perfect example of how, notice the software gave you two signals. There was a buy signal on the left, which, by the way, could have been profitable, depending on, again, it's all about your thresholds and how long you can be in there. And then there's a sell signal that just occurred, okay? So watch this. Brad, do me a favor. Create a buy alert that's just above the high of the previous buy signal. No, the one that's on the daily is what I was.
Gotcha. Come over here.
Yeah. A little bit above there, like above the candle. Because remember, we're trying to go for, look, this thing gave you a buy signal, and we're trying to do something better than the buy signal. In other words, hopefully the dies have been cast. And then, of course, at the same time, let's go below the lows of today and put a sell signal in there.
Yep, so you can see it both on the daily on the left, where I've got my buy threshold or my long alert, and then I also have my short alert when it crosses below that price. You can see them here over on the intraday chart, and you can move either one of them and they'll reflect simultaneously.
Yeah, all of these things are in there, and I want to make sure you guys understand that what we're showing you is tactics of astute chess play and astute warfare. The amateur focus in chess, the amateur and even the high-level non-amateur is a piece player. They play the rook, or they play the knight, or they play even their pawns and kings and queens. The skilled player is a position player. Okay, he's looking at the board. He's trying to make sure that he's protecting a certain area of the board that makes the most sense to him. That's what this bracketing does. Okay, it's basically saying, I don't really care which way it goes, as long as the prevailing wind is in my back. and we've said this over and over and over again, and it is the highest resonance of investing because it takes your emotions out of it. You know, of course we want the money. Everybody wants to succeed that way, allocate capital better than someone else, no question. But to do it effectively, better than the other people, is to remove the emotions. And you remove the emotions by giving yourselves two options, a long option and a short option. Does everybody understand that?
So I do this all the time, you know, especially with the leading indicators, the SPYs, the diamonds, Qs and stuff. And just to, you know, that way I can take my eye off of it and see what's going on. This happened to be kind of a midday shot here today where the market was kind of range bound here looking at the SPYs, and I just wanted to be alerted if it broke either way. And you can kind of see what happened later in the day. It broke, gave me the signal, went up, and, you know, does what it does. But that's the kind of information you want to know.
David was great talking about that. Matt, as one of our affiliates and a really good trader, was, you know, talking about solo. That's the other good thing about the network, whether it's Barry or working with our other affiliates, is that it's general that the best traders have over time graduated to trade ideas. And it's not that we have a monopoly on there. I'm sure there's good traders that use other platforms, but you're just going to see, because we're the leaders by far in idea generation, that guys like Matt and others in the game, they gravitate to what we're doing. And again, here, we're just giving you the no BS approach, the very simple yet potent approach of getting rid of the emotions and keeping both options open, long and short. Go ahead, Brad. You started to show.
Let me talk a little bit about Brokerage Plus, because it's kind of a multi-dimensional tool. Yeah, it'll get you to be able to execute your trades. It'll go ahead and automate them. But let me kind of show you the breadth of what we do here. And a lot of tabs, fully customizable tool. This could all be in a tab version like you're looking at right here. They could all be free-floating windows, so pretty flexible from that regard. But this first tab right here, the Strategies tab, this is where you can configure what your right-click orders are going to do. So for instance, if let me pull up a little window here. If I right-click, now that I brought up my Brokerage Plus, and I right-click on that trade CRM, I have a variety of different choices right here. And these are all populated by what I've placed inside of this strategy tab. So it allows you to do that right click and just customize it. How do I want to go to market? Do I want to do $1,000 at market, or do I want to do 500 shares at the last price minus 2 pennies? That's the kind of flexibility that you can have for the right click. Another way that you can use it right here on the strategies tab, you can drop in an alert window or an alert strategy that you've created, like I have here, buy the unusual down move. Just dropped it in through a cloud link or collaboration link, or you could even, you know, configure it yourself here. But once you do that, then you tell it what instructions you want, what kind of share size or dollar value, how many maximum orders or trades do you want to send, how long do you want to hold the position if it doesn't get stopped out, what's your stop price, stop value, all that stuff you put in here. And once you set those instructions, you can just turn that particular strategy on. Where is that? So just enable it. Once it's enabled, then anytime a signal occurs in that particular strategy, it'll go ahead and perform those set of instructions. You don't need to manage it. It'll do it all for you. So that's one thing. And then the most recent addition that we've added to Brokerage Plus that we're going to be providing in this next release next week is this Holly AI tab. It's really the interface into Holly that allows you to automate those signals. And we give you some flexibility. Yep.
Brad, do me a favor. Tell people what they're seeing, because again, part of the stuff where we're testing our own money, notice the re-entries fields and explain to people what that is.
Okay.
Well, no, we can't, because I mean, there'll be...
No, of course. Let me do this. I'm going to slide it over. I'm going to bring in real quick this Omni AI channel, because what it does is it gives me the ability to illustrate all the different strategies that were available inside of Holly today. We have 3 different segments. Each segment looks at about 50 different strategies, and it does a unique optimization in and of itself. So if I have the same strategy, in one segment as the other, chances are they're going to be a little bit different. The filters are going to be a little bit different and such. So all of these different segments have different strategies. Let me bring back in Brokerage Plus. It's represented by these strategies right here letting you know what segments they are in. So you can turn these particular strategies on or turn them off, and you can configure it. So for instance, when you want to get into a particular long trade, you configure your long strategies here. How do you want to participate? In a risk off mode, which means you're going to be exiting at your time stop, or do you want to participate in a risk on mode and hold that to the end of the day, provided you don't get stopped out? What type of share quantity do you want to use? What type of order you place? So all these instructions are configured in here, and once they're done, you turn these strategies on, and anytime there's an AI signal, it'll go ahead and perform that set of instructions. It'll buy it, manage it, and get out of it. And then you, of course, I mean, that's the black box mentality, but you, of course, can intervene as a trader. You can, once that trade's been placed, you can change the stops, you can double, you can go to our position tab here, you can really quickly select it, double it if you want to put more weight into that position. So yeah, a lot of sophistication, and we're super excited. Next week,
one of the cool things that we've done, ladies and gentlemen, and this is hard to appreciate right now because you don't see a lot of data in here, but go back to the positions grid. One of the really, really cool things is, let's say you're trying to get out and, you're trying to maximize what it is you're doing, and you're in, and it's very possible that you could be in something, let's call it like 10 positions, right? It's very possible you'll be in more. But let's say you're in 10, just to keep it a round number. Well, as you approach your exit time, the time that you feel that you want to exit, number one, of course, you can highlight everything, you can not exit, what we said, depending on what you feel is happening. But there's this great thing called limit out right there. So what this does is it allows you to basically say, hey, instead of market hitting bids or offers, which you're going to lose the spread and cause, there will be reactions to that. You're going to be throwing offers out. So what's kind of great is that if you're in, let's say, a bunch of longs and the market's heading higher, when you're throwing offers out, people are coming to you and then buying your offer at the offer price. You don't lose any of the spread. And we give you this ability. And again, what's kind of nice is, let's say you have 5 shorts and 5 longs, Brad. You can highlight them all, hit limit out, and what happens? It does the bid stuff for the shorts. It does the offer stuff for the longs. That's the thing that, Brad, that I'm the most excited about, right? Because that's where, dexterity comes into play. And we've talked about forever how the big thing that hinders and prevents people from being in the stock market is that there's the different gears, the shifting of the gears, or what's a market order, what's a limit order, how do I do all of this stuff? Well, we've tried to create an environment that is as seamless as possible for you to do that.
Yeah, one of the nice things about the limit out, it allows you to really get some price improvement as you're trying to exit these positions without, huge market impact. But if in fact you're not able to get out and get the benefit of those bids and asks, then you can always just go ahead and flatten those respective positions. It'll cancel those orders that are out there. It'll do all this stuff for you. So, you just really need to be making decisions, not worrying about the mechanics of what orders need to be canceled and readjusted and such. The same orders that we have present in the system are also visible on the charting. So very much like the price alert, you can move your orders on the chart. You can move your stops and do all of that.
It's quite the thing. And, this is where, again, you will have to get used to some things. You will have to understand that we've done something that no other company has done. And with that comes all the things that come with it. There's going to be all the videos and explanations on how to do it. You have me and Brad, of course, giving you the intros, but we have a whole suite of education, including Barry and Sean and Jamie and Steve and all of our other partners who create content to help you learn all of this in off-market times, manage it. And the beauty here is that, and this is, Brad, what I like the best, you really can start very small. And what we mean by that is, imagine just saying, hey, I want to risk a very small amount per trade just to see the flow, like something like $10. It'll size you into the appropriate shares so that if you were stopped out, you would risk, $10, and you can see what it feels like. You'll then be able to compare that to seeing, well, what if I don't use stops and just trade, with the time? My stop is the time, assuming just from points of perspective that some company is not going to be going from, let's say, 50 to 0 during the day that you're in it, which, by the way, I mean, it's not that it can't happen. I'm just saying that that's the assumption. You'll be able to get out of it if it does. But that's what Brad is showing right there. This allows you to position yourself small and taste what the AI has to offer without knowing that, hey, here I am, I'm in 500 shares of Twitter, rolling the dice, hope it goes my way, which is really how most people invest today. That's the super sad part. Most people are simply just rolling the die, putting in the round number. What's Facebook at? What's Twitter at? What's Google at? And then getting after it. That does not lead to success, which is why, by the way, the industry allows certain educators, Tim Sykes, to exist so that eventually, after getting beat up by those types of services, what you end up doing is giving your money away to other people to manage. Tried it my way. That shit don't work. All right, got to give it to a professional who will put it into the S&P, and you will be happy having average, having learned a lesson. Don't try it yourself. No, that's not what we do. We're the opposite of this. Stay self-directed. Be self-directed. Be in charge of your own financial destiny. That is the higher path, the higher resonance. And probably Tuesday is go time. I'll put it to you this way. Again, there's never been a product like this on the market, and who knows what will take place. It's kind of, we've never been more excited about it. Brad, let's put the PowerPoint back on as we kind of wrap up. So one of the things, I got rid of the slide where, we talked about how we're only allowing 1,000 people to buy Brokerage Plus for $1,100, and I only got rid of it not because it's not true. We're only allowing 1,000 instances, but I don't want to. I enjoyed my own humor, and then I was like, look, I don't want anybody to want this that doesn't want it, and the ones that want it must understand that this isn't your meal ticket to easy money. That is just stupid. And anybody who claims that investing is easy money is trying to sell you a bunch of crap. What we've got here is a fine-tuned automobile that has lots of instructions for driving in the race that can help you compete, but you will be competing against other race cars. You have to know that. So just keep that in mind. We are a subscription-based business. You can start it and you can stop it anytime you want. The longer you stay in it, then the longer you are guaranteed your price. One of the things I love that we have subscribers who still pay $45 for our software. That's what we started with. No coincidence, 45, important number. But we started with that. People still pay that number today. The only way to get a price increase is if you cancel. If you cancel and have to start up again, well, you're going to get the new rates. But even the new rates for what we do, understand this. You're talking about Subway, sandwich, or a nice coffee drink. So that's where we are leveraging the minds of our development team and our support team and everything else to be able to do things cost effectively because we have done it all ourselves. There's nothing in Trade Ideas that was given to us by Oracle, IBM, SAP, Fidelity, whoever it is. We get the raw data from the exchanges, and then we do what we do with it. And by you guys listening to us and helping us, we're driving the innovation faster and farther than it's ever been. And of course, Holly is love. You get the 15% off your first month or a year of Trade Ideas today with this promo code by, just helping us out if you're not part of the group already. Okay. So there was a question, who needs to pay the $1,100? Okay, the 1100 is for people who are having access to trade ideas but do not currently have the premium service. Brad, did I say that correctly?
I don't think so.
Oh, I might have not.
I think the way that it works is we had grandfathered all of our premium subscribers prior to, was it February or January? All of those premium subscribers will continue to have access to Brokerage Plus, but all new subscribers, all new premium subscribers will still need to pay for the external service of Brokerage Plus.
Right. It was in beta, and we are taking it out of beta, and that's what the price is for. So this slide is about one of the things that we have, the curriculums that are there to support you all throughout the day. Barry Anderson has and maintains our trading room, which is a meritocracy of people using technology that we have, but not in a specifically coordinated way. Barry himself uses Brokerage Plus, but does not trade everything that the AI does. And we never tell people that they have to. It's up to you, okay? But there you will see all sorts of different people interacting with the software in different ways. And I would say for window shoppers or just another stream of information where you know that people are putting their money on the line, this is as good as it gets, and we hear fantastic stuff about it. And we're there ourselves enough, so it's not like we don't know what Barry's doing, but grateful for everything that Barry does. It's a fantastic resource. Click. I'm trying to remember if Jamie and I even did this last Friday. It was so, I think we did. I'm pretty sure Jamie and I did our podcast.
I think you did. I got a notification, although I didn't listen to it. I saw you did.
Oh, we did. My kids listened to it and they even liked it. What are you guys listening to? We do our podcast where we really talk about the business human perspective, right? Of course, Brad and I are businessmen. We're salesmen. We want to sell you our software. We believe it's worth everything and more. But we try to give you the human component of it. Like, you know, what's underneath all of this stuff that we call the stock market. You know what I was talking about, Brad? Here's what I said, and I'm going to reiterate this. You know, as a person who educates himself in, let's call it the metaphysical ways, I said in our webinar here, in our podcast rather, that I want you guys to forget the term bull and bear. These are terms that have been kind of deified and put into your mind to sort of worship the bull god, the bear god, and then of course, you know, they talk about pigs too, but none of that is good for your mind. The market is a statistical animal, not an animal with fur and horns and claws. And to deify it in an animalistic way is just silly. The more you can do what Brad and I told you before, which is bracketing things in both directions, then you get to profit from either the upside or the downside. And that's the thing that most people forget, is that you can do both. So that's really the topic of, I remember the topic of our Friday podcast there, Brad, and it was good. Don't deify bulls and bears and other animals. So we talk in lots of different things, you know, discuss lots of topics, but we also release news there, and we've given some pretty cool advice that lots of people give us good feedback on. So hopefully you will all tune in. It's go time, guys. It is really, really go time. So we're getting ready. This is our final week of testing. We're just trying to ferret out the bugs here, the last few, and then it's on. Brad, what else do we got?
Let me move to the next slide.
Okay. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so one of the things that everyone has to understand, and this is the other beauty about Brokerage Plus and what our AI does. Our AI, by you just participating in it, will teach you to be in the short side. In other words, it's never just long, hardly. I mean, I'm sure there's been a day where it's only been in longs, Brad, but really, there's long and short strategies every single day. So this, hold on, they got you again, Brad. He's good. Hold on, back one up. So this ebook that we wrote about is really, it's supposed to be funny too. Like post BTFD is post buy the effing dip market, which is going to happen, and it happened in December. When the market went down so fast, everyone thought that it was over. It came right back up roaring, but had you not been in it, and in fact, the slide, Brad, do me a favor, go back to our picture slide. The one with the Brokerage Plus, all the way back. Yeah, right there. Notice the positions that I'm in. Look at the direction. That's me following our own book, being short. Okay? Taking advantage of the short side. If you do not do that, you miss the opportunity cost of doing what I did in that slide. And we have the information for you. We have all the education material and all of the support that's there throughout the day. So without further ado, I think that concludes the Q&A webinar today, unless we're not on, unless I'm missing something. You guys know that your CEO, Dan Merkin's banned from all social media by unpatriotic social media people. But there are others in Trade Ideas who have not been banned. At Today Trader, at QuantBot, at Trade Ideas. Please like us on Facebook. While we don't like Facebook, we like it if you like us on Facebook. And of course, you can always shoot us an email, info@trade-ideas.com, or call us. Email's better. You like that, Brad? Don't call. I'm just kidding. You can call. But
I mean, let's be real. We're a relatively small company. We have thousands of customers. It's difficult to talk on the phone for a while, so email is definitely the best.
Right, and there's a vast video library on YouTube. All the resources you need are there. But we are a small company relative to, like, Dell or IBM. We have like 22 people that work at Trade Ideas. And we've never been funded by anybody. We've done it all by ourselves. So no evil components of the venture capital. We're here for you guys, and we're here to innovate, and we will continue to do so. I am grateful for all of you guys participating in our Q&A on this Wednesday. Brad, thank you very much. Scott, I think we are all good.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks everyone for attending. We'll have a recording up later on tonight or tomorrow, and you get an email from GoToWebinar with a reminder about how to find it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.